We've heard from people who've been the subject of a rumor and people who've spread a rumor. What about the person who starts a rumor? Rumor ground zero, if you will. Here's how Rhonda Rich started an innocuous little rumor about her friend Chris.
Back in university, I was having a chat with my friend Deborah, and we were talking about how we wanted to go see a concert in Guelph, and we wanted our friend Chris to drive us, but Chris wouldn't drive us. So in that conversation, I guess, I said something about Chris being an old grandpa, an old fuddy-duddy who wouldn't drive to Guelph because he was too old and it was too hard to drive to Guelph. At which point Deborah said, "How old is Chris anyway?" Chris is only 2 years older than me, which at this time would have made him about 23, 24. But in early 20s years, that's like a really big age gap. And so I guess I said to Deborah, well, he's way older than us. So given the fact that she was the same age, she added some years on. And Deborah has a certain knack for exaggeration. I have a certain knack for exaggeration. You add all that exaggeration up, somehow she came up with the number that Chris was 32. And from there, I think she told every mutual friend, everybody who'd ever even heard of Chris, did you know that Chris was 32 years old? And I guess maybe it was a slow gossip week. But everyone found it fascinating, especially because it lent itself to so much speculation. If he was 32 and in university, what had he been doing in all those years leading up? At this point, it's only fair to let Chris tell his side of the story, and he remembered some interesting tidbits.
Yeah, I do remember some kind of rumor going around that I had done a stint in the army. It was like I was holding out some dark secret, and that made people very interested for a little while.
I think that when you're in university, there could be no greater gift to a single man than to have an air of mystery, a dark secret. And for a while there, the rampant speculation about Chris's age created a buzz, because he never talked about it. So therefore, it must be like juicy. And I think Chris himself would tell you that people were looking at him a little differently as he walked down the campus. But I don't think that he thought this was the kind of air of mystery that he had sought to cultivate.
After you're in your mid-20s, there's no more upside to being more mature, I think. So, the imputation that you're already in your 30s when you're really in your mid-20s is quite horrifying.
I didn't find out about the rumor at first. I wasn't on that grapevine, but in fact, it was Chris himself that came back to me and said, "Do you know that Deborah's telling everyone I'm 32 years old?" And I was like, why would she be telling people that? And then I thought, oh yeah, because I called you an old grandpa. When you think about all this rumor business, it's pretty easy to start a rumor. It's a lot harder to control the rumor. It's like the internet. Once it's out there, you can't recall that horrible humiliation. I tried, but I could not put the genie back in the bottle.
A cautionary tale from Rhonda Rich. And by the way, her friend Chris just celebrated his birthday this week. He claims that he is now, and only now, 32 years old. That's the rumor anyway.